Okay, welcome to the A-197 How-To PLC Timers Part A. I'm going to cover the TMR, the up timer, the TMR down, the down timer, and these are the first basic timers that we're going to cover for Do More. Okay, here I've opened up Do More Designer and we're going to start a new project. So File, New Project, and we're going to go online. We're still using our simulator till our PLCs show up, so we're going to connect, and we have our Do More simulator here. So let's put it in the terminal mode. We're going to need that in a minute, so let's put him out of the way, and I'm going to say don't save. If you have a program there, you'll need to, let's go ahead and set the clock. And let's close this window down. And if we have a program that shows up, let's go to PLC, and you're going to clear PLC memory so we can start fresh. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. So we need to be in the edit mode. And our window is going to come over here for our instruction toolbox, and we're going to need that because we're going to use some timer functions. Okay, and we have our bottom piece here. And let me control scroll so it's large enough where you can see it. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put an open contact. Let's close this out because I missed. Let's start here. And we're going to make it X1. X1. We're going to go to our magnifying glass and we're going to call it switch 1. Space 1, and it'll put our underscore there. Right. Select. Okay, over here we're going to do a basic timer here. TMR. So let's go all the way down to timer counter drum on the bottom. Oops. And we're going to go to timer, TMR. Alright, and it's going to open up a window that shows us all kinds of different timers. And there it is. And let's go ahead and we're going to stick with a standard timer now. It's going to call T0. And let's go ahead and make it 5 seconds. Okay, so this is hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. And let's go ahead and go to a, okay, let's go ahead and select that. We need to reopen it in order to, I'm going to call it timer 0, space 0, select, arrow. Alright, so this is a basic timer. Okay, and once we go back, it should put everything back together. So let's go to the second one, and we're going to take some outputs of this timer. So let's open one, and we're going to put T0 period, and that's going to open up a little drop down menu, and we're going to pick different ones out. So I want to show down, and we're just going to dump it to our internal bit of C0. So let's put C0 and let's call that timer bit 0. Okay. Right, select. Okay. And we're going to use one more. Let's see if we can clean that up here. Let's back up. There we go. So let's go ahead and we're going to add another output of our timer. So let's go T0 point, and we're going to do timing. So this timing, let me just go through here. This is done, down, enable, reset, timing, I forget, and 0. So we want to, timing is going to show us when this guy is timing. So let's go ahead and click him, and we're going to make this C1, and we're going to call him timer bit 1. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and run this. Let's go ahead and double click this. Okay, it's timer 0, and do we, yep, 5 seconds, good. And again, let's clean that up. So let's go ahead and accept, write to our simulator, write PLC. And let me demonstrate here. So we're going to put it in the run, and we're going to turn our status on, and we're going to find our simulator. Okay, let's close that out. So let me see if I can squeeze our, yes, squeeze everything together here. Okay, so when I press X1 here, we're going to start timing. Okay, and this is our accumulator. It's going to show us what the count is. When it's done, we're going to get an on here. Okay, so right now we're 0 and we're reset. So anytime this is off, it automatically resets. It goes back to the start. Alright, let's run it. So X1. And we see it's timing and it's counting up. Timing is on, and once we hit 5 seconds, we get it out. Timer 0 done. And it continues to count until we reset it. Hit it again, it continues to count up from 0. Once it hits 5, we get a done signal. Okay. One thing I missed to cover before we start our next timer is to make sure you save it. I didn't do that, and it bit me and I had to redo it, so make sure we save it. So we're going to go ahead and go to our next timer function, and we're going to use a down timer. So first off, let's put in our switch. We're going to call that X2, and it's going to be switch 2. Right and select, check mark, and we're going to go down, and we're going to go to timer down timer. So we're going to click it. It's going to bring back this to make sure that we see how it operates, and over here is a chart, and it shows how this operates. So this is a down timer, and once we start it, it's going to count down. Okay, so let's select it, go and open it back up, and we're going to call it timer 1. Right, select as always, and let's also make him 5-second one. Okay. And again, let's go ahead and put in a down. Oops. T0 period. Except we're going to make that T1 what it should have been, and we're going to go done. And we're going to make this guy C2, and we're going to call him timer bit 2. Okay, and the next one we're going to do is we're going to go do T10. T1 period, and we're going to see when it turns 0. And let's try that again. And we're going to make this C3. Timer bit 3. Oops. Put them in the wrong box. Move them back up to a nickname box. It, for some reason, didn't like our timer. Timer, space, there we go. Bit, space, 3. Okay, so now we have our down timer. And let's shrink it up again so we can see what's going on. There we are. Alright, so we have down timer. Okay. And 2 outputs. So we're going to accept, and you see there's 3 color bars over here. Or in this case 2, because we just selected it, the yellow disappeared. So let's save it. That's going to make one of the bars disappear, and then we're going to write it to the PLC. Okay. And it all disappeared. So when you have no bars over here, it's saved and off to the PLC. So let's bring our simulator out. And we're in terminal mode. And we have 5 seconds to our down timer. So let's go ahead and try switch X2. We forgot to put it in run mode. And open up the status. Bring it up. Let's go ahead and reset it. Back to 5 seconds. See, our accumulator starts at 5, where before we started at 0. So we're going to count down. So let's hit X2. And we're counting. And once it gets to 0, we're going to get an out bit from time 1 down. And we're going to get a 0 bit. Okay.